Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Maslowski, one of the teachers here at Woodstown High School with our Communications Academy. Today, we're stepping back to the year 44 BC. We're about to witness a press conference that never happened, but absolutely could have. You're about to see key figures involved in Julius Caesar's assassination defend their actions, explain their motivations, and face tough questions from the press. Some of you are playing these historical figures, others are playing journalists seeking the truth. Here's what makes this real: staying in character. Speak as your characters would, think like they would, defend what they did, or attack what others did, just as they might have in real life. For our reporters, ask hard questions. Don't accept easy answers. Push back. Make them justify themselves. For our speakers, you don't have to agree with what your character did, but you need to understand why they did it and explain it convincingly. It's more than just having fun, though I hope you do. It's about understanding the play and understanding persuasion and rhetoric, and understanding that history is told by those who speak both loudest and most convincingly. Let's see what happens when these conspirators and defenders of Caesar have to answer for their actions. I'd like to pass things off now to Liam Lawyer, who is our press secretary for the day. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This press conference is intended to discuss the event that occurred at approximately 12 p.m. on March 15th. On that day, Julius Caesar, future king of Rome, was killed by a group of senators while on the Capitol Hill. The senators, also called conspirators, who were determined to be involved with this event, justified this attack as an attempt to restore the Roman Republic. However, the administration strongly condemns this act, with many saying it was done out of political violence and betrayal. Representing the conspirators involved in this case, we have Marcus Brutus and Caius Cassius. Representing the administration, we have Mark Antony and Gaius Octavius. Before the question and answer section of the conference begins, opening statements will be given by the members here. First, we will have Marcus Brutus give his opening remarks.
Citizens of Rome, I know many of you are shocked and are questioning what has been done to Caesar. Stand here today to speak about the assassination of Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was my friend. I honored him, respected him, and his accomplishments for Rome. But what we did needed to be done for the better of Rome. We feared Caesar's growing ambition was going to threaten the great Roman Republic. Pompey was a symbol of Czech power in the great Roman Republic, which ultimately led to the corrupt tyranny of Caesar. Let me tell you, I loved Caesar and was my dear friend, but I love Rome more than anything. The conspirators and I believe that we acted in the favor of the better of Rome and not the enemies. At this point, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Caius Cassius, who also has some remarks to deliver.
Citizens of Rome, I do not stand before you for Caesar, but out of my passion for the Republic. We watched while one man tore down our laws, our institutions, and placed himself above the freedom of the people. Caesar placed himself as a god to such status that you tremble and weep for him. This should be a cause for celebration. His ambitions have become so great that Roman freedom could no longer survive, thus giving us the vital task of striking back for our freedom. This act of ours was not motivated directly due to his poor character, but for the restoration for the power of the people. Authoritarian rule has taken control of Rome, and to offer no response to this illegal action would be disrespectful to the foundation of the great Roman society. For Brutus said best, not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Now the Republic may restore itself to the times of check power of the Senate and the word of the people. We have rid you of tyrannical chains and will allow questions to be answered to help restore the Republic's integrity. Do not fear civil disobedience, and the vacuum of leadership for the Senate will be restored. With my unrelenting leadership for the people, the greed of Caesar will be forgotten and Rome will be great again. The golden future of Rome is constructed by the execution of the selfish, power-hungry Caesar. We can now honor the legacy of freedom rather than the one-man leadership of Caesar that would have stripped Rome as the foundation of freedom in the New World. Thank you.
At this time, Mark Antony, representing the conspirators, will be giving their opening remark.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, I'm sure you've all been waiting to hear about what Caesar's closest allies have to say about this tragedy, whether or not you believe tragedy is even the word to describe this. Since his brutal, inhumane murder My mind and the minds of those around me that knew Caesar best were in complete turmoil. We are trying our best to move forward after this because Rome won't govern itself. In the wake of everything that has happened, the only thing I am able to say to you is don't trust Brutus. Don't believe Brutus. He calls himself this honorable savior over Rome that rescued you all from a tyrannical leader, but don't let yourself be mistaken. Caesar had our country's best interest at heart. Above all else, he found dear to him. He grew up here just like you and me. He had great plans for us. Now, we are left completely in the dark to reap what the conspirators sow. Now, we can only pray that something good will come out of this. I will now be passing the mic to Octavius Caesar.
Thank you. Hello, my fellow Romans. I assume you have heard the news of the sudden death of my uncle. I am here to say I stand with Mark Antony. I have lost my dearest uncle, someone who was a father figure to me. The people who have killed him will have their karma and will be dealt with. Caesar was a human being. He had a life, but these conspirators took his soul away. Caesar's legacy will live within Antony and I, and we will bring Rome back to the light and out of the darkness. Long live Caesar.
At this time, the question and answer portion of the conference will begin.
This is for Brutus. How can you claim you murdered Caesar to protect the Roman Republic when your actions completely destroyed its laws and legal system?
We believe that with killing Caesar, the Senate would take over and believe that it would fix Rome more better than Caesar would do himself.
This question's also for Brutus. Why did so many senators have to participate in the physical act of murdering Caesar?
All of us conspirators believed we were all together and believed that it all needed to be done.
I have a question for Antony. If Rome is a republic, why would we crown a king that had absolute power?
Rome is a republic. It was a lot of people believed in Caesar, a lot of people supported Caesar. So it was, although it may have been everyone wanted, most people, if not everyone, wanted Caesar, and we heard a lot of that about, we heard so many people talk about how much they wanted Caesar there. So it was a choice made that was considering the republic, and he also had us and like other people in the government to help him make decisions and everything. So it's still we yeah. Yep.
I have a question for Cassius. What were the reasons that Caesar was considered too dangerous to live?
He was considered too dangerous to live because he threatened the integrity of a free Roman Republic and the power to the people. He wanted the power all to himself and acted as a god, and it was sick, and he was a power-hungry dog, and it is disrespectful to the Roman Republic.
Did you actually want, or this is for both of the conspirators, did you actually want to protect Rome from Caesar, or were you guys just jealous of his power?
Repeat that, please.
This is for both of them. Did you guys actually want to protect Rome from Caesar, or were you guys just jealous of his power?
We acted as we needed to protect Rome because we thought his ambition would become too powerful and take over Rome.
I have another question for Antony. How come so many senators feared Caesar if he was truly acting for Rome's best interest?
It goes without saying that Caesar was definitely someone who presented his power very well, whether that be people like Brutus believed that presented as ambition, but I see it as he was taking action and asserting himself in front of the Roman people so that they wouldn't be afraid, because if you have a leader that doesn't have that power, have that voice, and present to make sure people know that he is in power, then that's not a leader. So yeah, some of them did present this sort of, what they did was they acknowledged his power. So
I have a follow-up question, actually. So should Romans ignore signs of a king/dictatorship until it's too late?
Can you say that again one more time?
Should Romans ignore signs of a king/dictatorship until it's too late?
No, that was not that. There's a difference between a leader who doesn't listen to their people and a leader that does listen to their people. Caesar was one of those that always listened to his people. He wanted what was best for them. This has been seen many times, but he was humble. He was very humble, and it wasn't this sort of thing where he was trying to keep all the power for himself and not give it to anybody else. He even denied the crown. You guys were there when he denied the crown. So he's not that kind of person. So
this is also for Mark Antony. Were you aware of the plans of the conspirators prior to the assassination? And if so, how did you react? And if not, what actions would you have taken and why, or if any?
no, I was not aware. And if I was aware, I would have stopped it immediately. I would have made sure that Caesar had their heads.
This question's for Cassius. What are your plans for Rome if you believe it shall not have a king?
The plans for Rome are simple. We're going to have the Senate of the Republic. I'm going to keep my position as a senator, and I'm going to keep fighting for the freedom of Rome as itself, and we will not have dictators take over Rome.
This is for Cassius. Knowing Brutus's strict morals, how did you convince him killing Caesar was the right thing?
Brutus could understand. He's an intelligent man, and he could understand the threat that Caesar posed to Rome. It did not take much convincing because it was blatant. Caesar was power hungry and didn't care for the people. He just cared to be looked at as a god.
This one's for both Cassius and Brutus. Since you promised the public that killing Caesar would bring peace, how do you explain the immediate rioting and chaos now taking the streets?
Once again, like Cassius said, we believe that the Senate will save everybody and keep it together.
There's only civil disobedience because he manipulated the people into thinking that he was a great leader, which he wasn't. And it will all be covered once people gain the common sense to realize that the Senate is where it should be, and people like me and Brutus should lead the nation of Rome.
My question is for Brutus. If Caesar was truly dangerous, why didn't you try to stop him without killing him?
He was too popular of a person, and everybody in Rome already liked him except for the conspirators, and we believed that he needed to be assassinated.
This question is for both Antony and Octavius, or either or. What proof do you have that the soothsayer was actually warning Caesar? And what if the gods were mad at Caesar and the soothsayer was just conveying it?
Can you repeat that one more time?
What proof do you have that the soothsayer was actually warning Caesar? And instead, what if the gods were mad at Caesar and the soothsayer was just conveying that?
Because there are many other signs that something was going to happen to Caesar, considering Calpurnia's dream. She dreamt that the dream that she had of the fountain and Caesar, or the statue with Caesar. There were many warnings that were very clear, such as that could have kept Caesar from what happened to him, but unfortunately didn't.
This is also from Mark Antony. How do you think Caesar's death will continue to affect the social structure of Rome?
It's hard to say, but it's hard to say because Caesar was such a powerful. We had so many things that we were anticipating happening, but we'll probably continue where we're going with people that we will find that are similar to Caesar, that have the same motivations as him, so that we can go back to what things would have been or were when Caesar was in power.
This is for either Cassius or Brutus. Do you think jealousy played any role in your actions?
I think that's a pretty poor question. You're obviously trying to get some sort of sentimental answer. This was for the passion of Rome and the passion of freedom, and we were very direct in what we did. It was for the people. It was not for one's power or anything.
This is for both. How can you guys provide for Rome?
Once again, like me and Cassius said, that the Senate will run and protect and provide to everybody.
Yeah, I agree fully. We'll just have the senators working again, and we're going to have the people working again, and everything will go back to normal as it was before Caesar tried to take over.
My question's for Cassius. Why should Romans trust someone who secretly planned a murder instead of openly opposing Caesar?
Well, Caesar was a man who took spoils of war across the nation off the Civil War, so you trusted a warmonger, so I think you're a hypocrite trying to call me out, but, it's the same kind of question. We are men who, we were enacted, honestly, by the gods, if you ask me, that we fought for the divine truth, which is freedom and the republic.
This is for Mark Antony. Do you feel that Caesar's arrogance would have been manageable, or would it have been likely he put Rome in danger due to his own greed?
Again, he was not an arrogant person. I don't know why I have to keep reiterating this. He was not ambitious, he was not arrogant, he was nothing of the sort. Just because he appeared to have this powerful voice when he was speaking to his people does not mean anything about his character in anywhere with anybody that he talked to. When he talked to me, he was always this kind of individual who just wanted the best for Rome. So.
My question is for Octavius. If Caesar truly cared about Rome, why did he continue gaining more power and eventually over the Senate?
He continued gaining power because he wanted enough power to help the community of Rome, and he just wanted to support everybody, and obviously you need power and money and wealth to do that, so it was for Rome. Thank you.
I have a follow-up. Why couldn't he just do that along with the Senate? Why did he have to take absolute power?
Because he knew what was right. The Senate was obviously going to reject some stuff, but he knew what Rome needed, and that's why he did it.
This one's from Mark Antony again. How do you feel about Caesar leaving 75% of his will to Octavius and none to you, his supposed best friend and leader with him?
I don't have any resentment towards it. I think that Octavius, being his family, being perhaps even his successor, he deserves that part of the will, and he also gave a lot of it to the Roman people, which I think is deserved. As just his friend, his servant, I don't expect much in return. I think everything that he did for me while he was alive is enough.
This question is for Cassius. Is it not hypocritical for you to say that you and Brutus were enacted by the gods to kill Caesar, but criticize Caesar for also acting as a god? What makes the two of you better leaders than him?
Well, what the difference is the gods have been prevalent throughout all of history. Caesar tried to place himself because he was an insecure, wealth-wanting dog. There's a difference. The gods directly spoke. The signs were everywhere. I don't see the signs as Caesar's doom. I saw the signs as doom to come from Caesar's leadership. So, no, we're not hypocrites. I think that's very disrespectful. But, we enact as, free people, and that's what we want and what we're going to continue to fight for.
This is for Brutus. Were peaceful alternatives ever considered before you resorted to violence?
We acted as if his power would eventually take over, ruin Rome, which it also happened when he killed Pompey.
My question is for Cassius. What crimes do you believe that you and your fellow conspirators should be charged with?
I don't think we should be charged for anything. That's ridiculous. I mean, I can tell you're pro-Caesar media probably. You've asked horrible questions throughout. But we committed no crime. We committed, honestly, a beautiful act, one of the most beautiful act ever in history, if you ask me. Well, and there should be no crimes. The only crime should be on these two. I mean, they were just power hungry, just like him.
I have a follow-up for Octavius. What crimes do you believe that the conspirators should be charged with, opposed to the conspirators' view on that?
Death. They deserve to die for that.
This one's for Cassius. Don't you think that killing Caesar kind of puts you on the same level as him morally? If you're trying so hard to say that he's a horrible person, yet you murdered him, doesn't that put you guys on the same level?
Well, think of all the people he's murdered. I mean, he boasted himself as a god, even though he killed more than me and Brutus could ever even imagine. So, obviously, I think you're pro-Caesar too. Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, we killed him for good, he killed for bad, and then he took the spoils of it and celebrated himself. So I think that says a lot.
This could be for Cassius or Brutus or both. If most of the population loved Caesar, what makes you two, the conspirators' opinions of him, correct over the whole population?
We believe that we were right, and what Caesar was doing was not helping Rome.
This one's for Octavius. You said that Caesar supported Rome, but in what way did he support Rome?
Well, he did support all of you guys. He was throwing, let me think real quick. He supported you guys. Well, he supported you guys with the community. He was trying to help you guys out, as I already said, so I don't know why you're questioning me. But yes, thank you.
I
have a follow-up, but you didn't say what actions he did to support Rome.
He denied the crown, so obviously that shows that he's very humble, and I don't know why you're still questioning me. Thank you.
I have a question for Cassius. How do you feel about the responses that have been given by Mark Antony and Octavius?
I think the responses kind of show their integrity as people. They're stumbling. They seem like they have no clue what they're talking about, just like Caesar, just completely delusional people. I think this really shows the political landscape of Rome with just through these interviews.
This one's for Mark Antony. If Caesar wasn't ambitious, how come he had came back to Rome, killing Pompey and his forces and taken over as leader?
Because Pompey might not have done what Caesar believed was good enough. So as the excuses, as the horrible excuses that these two are using right here, you could use the same excuse for Pompey, except it makes more sense because that might have been who Pompey was. None of you knew Pompey. None of you knew Caesar. That's it. That's the gist of it.
Follow-up question. Did you know Pompey and think that he deserved to die?
No. I mean, I'm sure if Caesar believed that he deserved to die, then he probably deserved to die. But I didn't know him, so.
This one's for Cassius. Octavius claims that he supported Rome, but the only thing he said was that he denied the crown, which is no way of supporting Rome. So, what do you think about that?
I've thought about this. This was a big thing in the forming of the group. Him denying the crown was obviously a stunt, guilt-tripping, sympathy-wanting stunt to try and take the people. All he did was take from the people, and all he did was take our money and build statues of himself because he was insecure and he was an awful leader.
This one's also for Cassius. If you say that Caesar's ambitions were delusional, would you not think that thinking that you would stay in power after him would be not delusional too?
I never said that I was going to be in power. Obviously, somebody isn't paying attention. We will have checked and equal power in the Senate. I think it's absolutely unbelievable that you try and say that I try and be like Caesar. I despise him. I despise authoritarianism, and I believe in the republic and power to the people.
At this time, the conference has concluded. Reporters, thank you for your well-thought-out questions. Also, thank you for the representatives for taking the time to be here despite your busy schedules. More information surrounding the events discussed in this conference will be published at a later date. Have a good day, everyone.